Hey, what's up guys? I hope you're all fantastic. I'm continuing my little series of Jean-Claude Van Damme videos. I recently covered his breakout performance in 1988's Bloodsport, and I followed it up with a look at the wildly strange and over-the-top Cyborg, and today we're diving into his next movie, which would be essentially a return to the Van Damme basics in 1989's Kickboxer. Now, principal photography for this film took place in Thailand over 56 days. Some scenes were also shot in Hong Kong. It was produced by Kings Road Entertainment. The Cannon Group handled U.S. distributions, and Kickboxer would be released in September of 1989, with it being given the name Karate Tiger in certain areas of Europe. Now you may be thinking, Anthony, what the hell is Karate Tiger and where is parts 1 and parts 2? Well, it turns out another movie Van Damme was in from 1986 that most of us know as No Retreat, No Surrender was also known as Karate Tiger. That film had a sequel, No Retreat, No Surrender 2, which was also known as Karate Tiger 2, which Van Damme did not appear in. But I suppose since this movie, like No Retreat, No Surrender, was also about kickboxing and it also had Van Damme in it, was a good enough reason to slap a Part 3 tag on it in certain countries to get more butts and seats, since Van Damme was still building on the momentum of Bloodsport. Now, this was the third film in 2 years that Van Damme had done with the Cannon Group, along with Bloodsport and Cyborg, and this is purely speculation and urban legend, and I can't prove it since I wasn't at the restaurant dining that night, but it is rumored that Van Damme worked as a waiter in the early 80s when he first came to the US and was looking to make his big break. Apparently, Menahem Golan of Golan and Globus of the Cannon Group was having dinner one evening, and Van Damme reportedly took it upon himself in the middle of service to demonstrate his textbook roundhouse kick in the restaurant at the table, and it's said that this display of moxie and martial arts skill was enough for the producer to sign Van Damme to a 3-picture deal that would eventually propel him into a global superstar.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, let's go see if we can make this little kitty purr.
Now, to nobody's surprise, Kickboxer was not very well received by the critics, who viewed it as shallow and derived, but it would be released in a neatly placed, traditionally slow Labor Day weekend, and it would open with $4.1 million domestically, coming in third behind John Candy's Uncle Buck in its 4th week and Steve Martin's Parenthood in its 6th week, and it would go on to have a decent run, finishing with around $50 million globally with a mere budget of an estimated $2.7 million, making it a sizable hit. This script, like many martial arts movies at the time, was originally intended for Chuck Norris. Another Hollywood urban legend is that Norris made an attempt to actually purchase the rights to Kickboxer so that he could star in it, but Golan wouldn't sell, and he insisted that he acquired the rights specifically so that he could use Van Damme in the lead. And if that's all true, I'm really curious how Norris felt about seeing the kid he once sparred with in Van Damme becoming a larger name in the genre and getting roles that he once had the leisure of getting first dibs on. I'm sure he took it like the true man of respect that he is, but passing the torch must have been tough to anybody. But I mean, Chuck Norris was still on his way to becoming the Texas Ranger, so he still had a lasting career ahead of him. Anywho, back to Kickboxer. I think it was a great choice for Van Damme to return to his comfort zone. It's safe to say he won the hearts of genre fans with Bloodsport, and Cyborg, while it may be a cult classic now, it certainly was a niche film, and he had some appealing spots of action in it, but it certainly wasn't just mass consumable like Bloodsport was. Now, Kickboxer is very much a mashup of elements from Bloodsport and other actioners from the era. The story structure kind of drapes nicely over Bloodsport's. The motive of revenge is there, a love interest that this time is beefed up as more than a simple fling and actually given some layering to the story to kind of compound onto the already high melodrama for our hero to succeed. It also has international locations and a martial arts showdown, training montages, and cheesy feel-good, just synth-fueled 80s music that you can't help but tap your foot to. You know, it's all routine stuff, but it's the perfect vehicle to kind of give mainstream audiences another peek at the martial arts skills, good looks, and on-screen charisma of Van Damme. And as simple and repetitive as the story beats were, like many growing up, I had this VHS tape next to my Bloodsport tape, and I wore them out from watching them so many times. And the movie really does still hold plenty of nostalgia. The fight sequences are fun to watch despite their limitations. Van Damme actually directed and choreographed the fight sequences for this film, which I will admit are nicely staged with great backdrops and great angles and solid lighting, but there just isn't enough Van Damme fighting, and what he delivers is a bit limited compared to some of his future films like Lionheart and Double Impact and even Knockoff, where he flexes much more variety to his combat skill set. I mean, really the most epic moments are the training montages. I'm not sure how they help his Muay Thai, but regardless, these showcases of physical ability and flexibility are impressive. The rope sequence is iconic, and Van Damme going bananas on a palm tree is just a classic moment. The montages really showcase the beauty of Thailand, and all the landscapes and landmarks can lure you into this campy ride. However, I would say outside of the first Tong Po match against Eric, which essentially serves as the Apollo Drago fight to kind of move the plot into motion, and a relatively bland in-ring match with Van Damme, there isn't much in terms of pure fighting outside of the finale. Yet, I mean, despite all that, it still has its fun, it still has its memorable moments like all of those just mentioned, and his drunken bar fight, which is really known more for his wiggles than his ass kicking. So I can't tell you there aren't some stretches of admittedly bland storytelling as the movie goes through the motions on its way to the satisfying Tong Po showdown. The choreography in the finale does have a bit more depth to it. It's still kind of limited, and it results in a lot of the old triple takes for most of the major blows. However, I do think the camera work in Kickboxer has a bit more fluidity to it, which does make the viewing experience a little more immersive than the Bloodsport finale. The set design, the hand wraps dipped in glass and fire and lighting, all of it's just dark and ominous but still visually friendly, and it results in an epic showdown despite its flaws. The battle goes back and forth, and Van Damme is just ripped and displaying his trademark arsenal of fighting skills, but little else outside of that. Tong Po suddenly going soft on Van Damme to close out the fight does hinder it a little bit. Yet I will contend that where Kickboxer does have its flaws, that there still is plenty of charisma to gravitate to. It's a very inviting movie that can certainly take you on a fun ride of redemption and revenge with just waves of bravado and spots of humor and romance and more. It's without a doubt cheesy, it's campy, it may not be great, but it's certainly an awesome movie from the 80s and a classic from the Van Damme collection. His career would just take off after this one. Over the next few years, he would star in Death Warrant and Lionheart and Double Impact to kick off the 90s, a decade that he would just thrive in with a string of hits. Hits that I think were certainly springboarded from the success of Bloodsport and Kickboxer. And that's it for today, guys. If you would like to see more of my Van Damme content, I have a Van Damme playlist with nothing but Van Damme-age videos, including a Hidden Gems video and a review of Lionheart, his follow-up film to this one. Also, be on the lookout for my next episode of my top 100 movies from the 80s coming very soon. And until then, thank you so much for the continued support and for watching these videos. And until the next one, I'll see you at the movies.